5:30 and we are ready for the Special Community Development Committee meeting. May I have a roll call, please?
Chairman Rivera.
Present.
Alderman Moiseo.
Here.
Alderman Deloria. Present. Alderman Hayes.
Present.
Alderman Turner.
Okay, thank you. Next is audience time. Is there anyone from the audience that would like to speak regarding anything that is on the current agenda? Okay. Number 3 is public hearing. There is no public hearing. Number 4 is old business. There being no old business, we will move to number 5, new business. And I will need a motion, please. Motion. Seconded by Alderman Turner, seconded by Alderman Hayes. Motion to approve zoning calendar number 2656, an ordinance approving a site plan for the temporary by American Place, 600 Lakers Road, and 4001 to 4011 Fountain Square Place. Are there any questions to the motion? Yes. Alderman Florian?
Is there going to be a presentation first, or should I know we got all of this information, and I have some questions about the information we were given. Should I ask it now, or how does this go? Can't see all the way down there, too much reflection.
Yeah, looks like there is.
The applicant is here and is able to give like a summary presentation if you prefer that, or if you'd like to just go to your questions. Either way works.
The questions, any questions?
Well, maybe we should do the presentation first, and maybe they'll answer some of my questions in the presentation. I don't know. Want to do that?
Okay.
That's what we're prepared for.
Awesome, great. Thank you very much. You can proceed.
Give us 1 second.
Thank you. My name is Alex Stoller. I am Senior Vice President, Chief Development Officer for Full House Resorts. Obviously, we've got a big project here in front of you, Waukegan. The focus today, right, is just talking about the temporary casino and the site plan approval for the temporary casino. So I want to just take a second to kind of lay that out. Real quickly, just a quick plug. Tomorrow morning, we are having a community outreach event for our general contractors, for minority vendors and contractors and subcontractors that are interested in working on this project. This is at 10 a.m. tomorrow at our offices at 1545 South Waukegan. So if anybody's watching and anybody knows, please share, spread the word, and there will be more opportunities for this going forward. In a second, I'm going to turn it over to our architect to talk about the temporary site plan. But I just want to point out how this lays out. We have recently closed on the 10-acre parcel adjacent to the 30-acre city-owned parcel. So we now have 40 acres. What you see in the purple there in the bottom right is going to be the permanent facility that I believe I've shown all of you, and you've seen the videos, and all the components for there. And in the highlighted in the yellow there is what really we're talking about today, which is the temporary casino and the site plan. But I wanted to kind of put that up there so you can see how that lays out. And now to walk through this presentation, I want to introduce Kurt Boltman, who is with Leggett Architects and the designer for this temporary casino.
Good evening. So at 600 Lakers Road, we have a total of 40 acres. There's a 10-acre parcel along the top, and then there's an additional 30-plus acre development along our site along Lakers Road to the south. The site that we're looking at right now takes up approximately 20 acres of the 40 acres for the temporary facility. Of that, there are 4 acres of landscaping included with this. In the assembly of this, there's 1333 parking spaces, basically split. The parking to the north side of the site is primarily for patron parking. The parking along Lakehurst Road to the south, 302 spaces are seen for, we're identifying as employee parking. And then there's some overflow spaces in that area for public parking as well. The buildings, we have a temporary structure, the main part of that is a 70,000 square foot prefabricated structure that we're trying to get to the site and get built. That would be the main gaming floor and would also have the dining into it. Directly to the west side, the left of that main structure, is the kitchen trailers. These are also prefabricated, being brought to site. We have to do the final assembly here on site, but then those kitchens feed the main gaming area and restaurant dining within. Directly to the south, you'll see 3 rectangles of increasing size. The smallest is a prefabricated diner that's coming to the site. This represents probably the luxury dining option. That will have a direct connection back into the main gaming facility. And then the 2 additional trailers that you see also coming to the site are for employees and administration. And they'll have direct connection also back to the main gaming facility. Signage-wise, we have along Fountain Square Road on the north, directly across from the Walmart entry, we'll have a ground sign there of approximately 144 square feet, as just calling out the main point of entry. We see there is a right turn in, right turn out. We'll have a sign identifying that, also just branded to full house, but won't be as big as the main ground sign at the entry. We'll have a similar size sign at the entry off of Lakehurst Road to the south, and this will be identifying, this is sort of the loading zone and employee parking area, so that we can create the directionality that way. And then in front of the building at this point, we have a ground sign identifying American Place. The temporary casino logo would be on that. Landscape-wise, within the islands, we'll have a mix of trees, either little leaf linden or Chinese elms. And then along the boulevards, coming down from the main entry off Fountain Square, we have a little bit more landscaping, so we'll do a 3rd decorative planting, a 3rd coniferous, and a 3rd canopy tree. Canopy trees being a red oak or red maple, or also looking at a Burke red cedar there as well. And then ultimately, what we're trying to do today is get approval so that we can begin construction. We've submitted the foundation permit already, and it's on hold until we get through all of our city approvals and the Illinois Gaming Board approval. Thank you.
Okay, great, thank you. Are there any questions from the committee? Yes, Alderman Florian.
Thank you. So we were given, wow, that flashing light is really annoying. Is there any way to stop that? It's like blinking on and off. Anyway, we were given the draft of the agreement for tonight, and I have a couple questions about it. So one of the questions I'm getting from the community is, why did you guys not use one of the vacant buildings that's already in the area as opposed to going through this process?
I'll hand this back to Alex.
That's a good question. We did look at various vacant buildings. None of them were large enough. Our temporary casino is going to be about 75,000 square feet for the gaming space. That's 1,000 slot machines and 50 table games. That was the commitment we made to the Illinois Gaming Board. So we did see if there was some way to get it into one of the existing buildings. No other building has that size of a footprint on one single level. and it's important for casinos to be on a single level.
For security reasons and access and that kind of stuff.
And that's what customers like.
Okay, all right, great. That answers my question. Okay, and then in this leasehold mortgage section, it says, under no circumstances will the fee estate be subordinate to any leasehold mortgage. What the heck does that mean?
I'm going to turn this one over to the attorney to address. 'Cause I probably have the same question.
That sounds like
Wait,
gibberish to me.
Are you talking about the,
It's on page 3.
you're talking about
down
the easement agreement or the site,
the party review draft I have here.
oh, hold on, let
See
me,
this, under no circumstances will the fee estate
Let
be
me see.
subordinate to. Okay, this is what we were given.
means that the lease can't trump
Okay. Okay, all right, so this is for future.
that's for 2 weeks from now.
Okay, sorry, I guess I jumped the gun. That, I misunderstood. I thought this agreement was also part of what we were discussing tonight. We're just doing the zoning.
The site
for-
plan.
Okay, got it. All right, thank you.
I have a question, if it's okay.
Yes, please.
Regarding the site plan, could you explain what elements of the temporary casino will be made permanent? Just so that we understand kind of what will be put up and taken down and then what will stay?
The temporary casino itself will be going away. None of it will be in the permanent
The
facility.
structure itself, right? The 75,000 in the trailers? for
Yeah,
the
it's a, maybe we should have clarified this a little bit more. It's a sprung structure. So it's made to be a temporary building. It goes up quickly, it gets erected quickly, it gets taken down quickly. Obviously, it's much less expensive to build than a permanent facility, but yeah, that will be going away.
Okay, but the signage that we talked about, is that sign staying in place? I mean, anything related to landscaping that's?
Ideally, when we're looking at the parking lot and the landscaping that goes to it, we'd like to think we're designing it to manage the 3 years, and if it can stay longer, great. But we're approaching everything we're doing right now to get us, till the permanent casino comes up, and then as things develop over time, we're going to see potentially, further additions within it in terms of landscape or signage.
Okay, I see. So you'll be enhancing what you're already doing as it relates to signage and landscaping?
Yes, and I mean, one other thing, Cliff Corbin, our head of construction, pointed out, the driveway is going to be permanent. So where we have the main entrance right now, off Fountain Square Place, that is going to be the entrance to the permanent as well. Obviously, you're going to be veered a little differently to go toward the permanent, which will be on the eastern side of the site.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, any more questions?
I do have just a couple more.
Alderman Florian?
So what about restrooms and that kind of stuff? Is there going to be restrooms inside?
Yes, yes, outdoor restrooms would be bad for business.
Mm-hmm.
So we will be having indoor restrooms. They will be regular restrooms, as you would see in any facility.
Yeah, within the sprung structure itself, we're building actually interior spaces that will house administrative functions, restrooms, IT data rooms as well, that'll all get fed, and feed the gaming operations. So we're basically in the process of designing all that currently.
Okay, and you mentioned the one high-end eating, I think it's
It's the smallest
rectangle
of the
going
three
that
furthest
way.
to the west, yes.
And then, I think originally you said you were going to do food trucks?
There is a food truck area directly to the northwest of the main sprung structure of the gaming floor. The way that gets accessed, it's accessible from both public as well as gaming patrons. They have to go out the main entrance, they'd walk across, utilize it, then they have to come back, back through security to come in.
Okay, I don't know if you live here, but it gets to
I
be
do.
like 0 degrees sometimes.
Right, food trucks typically are operational 8 months of the year, so they don't operate in the winter months.
Right, so there'll be no food available?
Don't anticipate food truck, basically kind of November to March.
Just to clarify, the food trucks are additional food and beverage option. We will have 3 other sit-down restaurants.
Oh,
Yeah,
I thought you just mentioned the one, so.
sorry, no. The diner is going to be the one restaurant, the external diner building, and then within the tent, there's going to be 2 other restaurants.
Okay,
So, yeah, so the food trucks are in addition to that.
okay. All right, great. Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying, and thank you for the presentation. Any other questions?
I have a follow-up, but I'm
Alderman
not sure
Hoy?
if it's for
Hayes?
you guys. Thank you. The traffic study that was conducted, are we talking about that at this point? Just had some general questions about it, or is that for a different?
Yes, we can talk about it.
All right, I guess my question is, there were some issues raised in the traffic study, and I just didn't know if any of that was being addressed for the temporary casino, or if all of the issues in the analysis that was conducted, if any changes to the flow of traffic, signals, right-hand turn lanes, and things of that nature are being modified in advance of the temporary casino, or when construction starts on the permanent?
All of the comments that we've received from our traffic consultant are related to the temporary casino. So
Okay.
all of those adjustments we're working through prior to the opening of the temporary casino. There will be another site plan review process for the permanent casino that'll be a totally separate process. So some of these elements may be repeated, they may stay and reappear in that process, but all of this is related just to the temporary.
Okay, and who's paying for the traffic study and then any modifications that are made to the signaling on the existing streets, or I don't know if it's widening or adding a right-hand turn lane, any of the changes that have to take place as a result of the casino, who's paying for those expenses?
So with regard to the study, the developer has put money in escrow to pay for our specialists
Okay.
to assist us. So those are the funds that are being used for that purpose. Traffic signaling, if it's specific to the casino, it will be borne at their cost. If it's something broader citywide that impacts the casino, we'd have to see what that impact is.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
Okay, one further question?
And I apologize if this was in the information and I didn't see it. How many electric vehicle charging stations do you have?
We are in discussions right now to bring electric vehicle charging stations to the site. We do not have a specific number at this point.
Okay, I can't see down there because of the way the lights are. Is there any code requirements for a structure like this for us to, like a certain percentage or I don't know.
There isn't yet at this point in time. It's something that we've talked about, but we haven't yet implemented anything.
We probably really need to get on that because, aren't there car manufacturers that are saying by 20-something they're only going to manufacture electric
Yeah,
vehicles?
absolutely. This casino team has been very proactive in reaching out to us, trying to get assistance and making contacts with those providers. So they're very interested in doing this.
Alderman, I'm choosing my words carefully here because we are in negotiations with some folks on the electric charging station, so I want to choose my words carefully because that's not yet public. But we are looking conceptually at over 20 electric charging stations.
Okay, thank you.
And one comment I'll make about whether it's electric charging stations, the food and beverage, the traffic, everything as it relates to the temporary casino, what the temporary casino provides us is a great opportunity to learn and to understand the market, right? And not just for gaming customers, but for all of those kinds of amenities. So then we are going to be back in front of you at some point later this year with a permanent site plan application. And by that point, and as we go through the process, we'll be smarter about how many charging stations do we need, how many restaurants do we need, how many traffic signals do we need, where do they go? So we're all going to be learning this and adapting together.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, great. Any other questions? Thank you very much, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Okay, I believe we have,
First and a second.
You had a motion and a second.
okay.
Call for the
Roll
question.
call, please.
Alderman Turner?
Aye.
Alderman Florian?
Aye.
Alderman Hayes,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Chairman Rivera.
Aye. Thank you. Item B, motion to adopt a resolution approving a temporary construction easement agreement with FHR-Illinois LLC for temporary casino facility. May I have a first and a second?
I'll make the first.
First by Alderman Turner, second by Alderman Florian. Any questions to the motion?
I can provide a little background if that would be useful on this
If you
point.
would, please. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So the development of the American Place Casino, and specifically the temporary, is something that is very fast-moving, but not only fast-moving, has to be approved at a number of different levels, not just at the city, but also at the Illinois Gaming Board. And so one of the things that the city has discussed with Full House, we are still in the process of finalizing the land transaction and the development agreement for the temporary and permanent casino. But they have asked, and at their sole and absolute risk, to begin doing initial site work on the property, to begin getting the site ready to basically be constructed so they can open as quickly as possible. So they have requested an easement, which is basically a right to go on the property, which is currently a bare field, to start doing some site work. If, for some reason, the casino does not go forward, or we cannot come to final terms, they will be required to restore the property back to its original condition, which once again is a bare field. So this is something that we have discussed with them as a way to facilitate this process, but also remove risk to the taxpayers. So that is the purpose of this. At the next meeting, you'll be seeing terms of the final agreement to be discussed, and we will present those more in depth. And then at the meeting after that, you'll be seeing both a ground lease and a development agreement, which will govern not only how well, actually, I'm not going to say, there was some discussion about the ground lease or whether we're going to, a land transaction document, and then a development agreement on how the final kind of meeting of the minds of how this project is going to be constructed, operated, and maintained in the city, hopefully for decades to come. So that's a very long answer to a short question.
Great. Thank you very much for that explanation. Are there any other questions? Okay, may I have a roll call, please?
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Hayes,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Chairman Rivera.
Aye. Thank you. Item C, motion to approve a resolution authorizing exchange of real property owned by the city, 718 Cummings.
I'll make the motion.
A motion by Alderman Turner, seconded by Alderman Florian. And Stuart, if you can just give us a brief explanation regarding this one?
Yes, this is basically, there were a number of properties that were on our demolition list. We have one that was that had a tax purchaser who wanted to rehab one of the parcels before we could come to an agreement to basically hold off on development. The property was demolished, and we have discussed with the tax purchaser if they would prefer in exchange to take one of the houses that remain standing. There is no cost to the taxpayers to this, and it would put one of these homes that is very close to demolition back on the tax rolls. They will be required, though, to submit permits and complete work within a specific period of time. I will be negotiating that with the attorney for the tax purchaser.
Okay, great. Are there any questions? Roll call, please.
Alderman Turner,
Aye.
Alderman Florian,
Aye.
Alderman Hayes,
Aye.
Alderman Moiseo,
Aye.
Chairman Rivera.
Aye. All right, thank you. That concludes the new business. There being no reports and communications, at this time, I will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Alderman Turner, seconded by Alderman Florian. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you very much. The meeting is over, and it is 5:56. Thank you.